What is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. This is beginner lesson 4. We are going to be building off of the previous lessons. So if you haven't watched those, I hope you will. All the lesson materials are going to be on Patreon, so I hope you'll join me there. It's $5 a month as of the filming of this video. Also, link is below, as is my Reverb store link. I built this guitar. I sell conversion necks, I sell full instruments, and, that's what we're doing. So, anyway, welcome. Today, I want to introduce major and minor chords, and I got a request for the song, People Get Ready, from Jeff Beck, and I love that song, but I never really sat down and figured it out, and it's a really, really simple song. It did not occur to me how simple it is, and so, this is the chart. And really, the first 2 minutes is just the first line. And then there's a part where it modulates and it goes up. So, we're going to introduce major and minor chords. We're going to do that stuff. The part where it modulates, I want you to use your ear. I want you to hear it change and go up. Now, the main thing we've been talking about so far has been muting. And it couldn't be more important than here. So, let's look at our chords. Number 1, we're finally in the key of D, right? The first 3 lessons, I don't think we've been in the key of D yet. We are in the key of D. Is that going to be easier? No, because it's harder to mute the open strings. When I'm here, I have all of this muting. As soon as I'm here now, I can mute here, I guess, but it's a lot more right-handed. So, let's do this. Oh, also there's a backing track. I've made a backing track. It's really just the chords, and it just makes it easier for me to kind of demonstrate some stuff with the backing track, assuming that, you're playing along with other people. You're playing along with the songs. We're not working as an independent artist, and I can certainly introduce some of those ideas because I did that for a long time, just playing lap steel. I was playing dobro and singing. But for the purpose of this, we're playing as if we were in a band setting. So check it out. This is basically the song. This is my version of it. But and in the background, you can already hear there's guitars doing the same thing we've been doing. All right, now, I hope you'll again, it's all about the muting. I'm actually using my left hand to mute. Okay, but you see that? It's about keeping it real tight. That's already the exercise we've been doing, but I'm keeping it tight, and I can't stress that enough. Muting is going to be the most important. Okay, that sounds so much better and so much cleaner than if I was like... It doesn't sound right. So in the context of the song, right? Okay, now, there's already some people playing that. So we assume somebody else is doing that. So what are we going to do? Let's introduce the idea of major and minor chords. So far, we've been working with 5 chords, 5th chords, power chords. They look like this. So they work for major and minor. Now, we're adding the 3rd of the chord. The way a chord is built, it's built with a 1st, a 3rd, and a 5th. A power chord doesn't have the 3rd. The 3rd defines whether it's major or minor. I realize that we're getting into some theory. It's not going to matter. This is the shape of a major chord. This is the shape of a minor chord. You can see the difference, right? Major chord, straight across. Let's do it here. Let's do it in the key. Right? That's the 12th fret. Minor chord, 9th fret. We can't play it straight across. So how are we going to play it? I'm going to show you. So, with the idea of major and minor chords, let's start here. Here is the D major scale. And so we have our D chord here. We have our B minor chord here. And we have our G chord here. I want to, I think, use my D chord at the 12th fret. The first trick, and this is a great trick, is I'm still not playing the minor third on the minor chord. I'm playing the major third on the D, I'm playing the bottom 4 strings, and then I'm going to play the 4th, 6, 4, and 2, right? So I'm not playing the minor third, but the minor third, this note, is here in the D chord. So as long as I'm playing the major chords and I'm playing the major thirds, you're going to hear, your brain is going to trick you into the minor thirds. This is a great trick. The idea, again, that I have to play all the notes is wrong. It's wrong for guitar players, but they at least have access to it. In this case, I can't strum all the notes on the B minor. It doesn't matter. So the first exercise is this. Bottom 4. Now, 6, 4, 2. And then mute. Right? Bottom 5. So I guess I'm really playing the low string and then 3 and 2. And then the bottom 3. So what's happening? That was messy. My top note is moving a lot less than my bottom note. You'll notice we're still not using open strings. You'll notice that, right? I know that's frustrating. Don't worry, we're gonna get there, I promise. But this is so important. Being able to not having to be reliant on open strings makes it opens up the entire instrument. So okay, now instead of this like, which sounds really jarring, if I can keep my top string, my top note closer together, it starts to sound more convenient. Convenience is the wrong word. It sounds more together. I don't know the word. It doesn't matter. Cohesive. If you're looking at a piano player, a lot of times their top note isn't moving that much. A guitar player, their top note isn't moving that much. We have to be a little more aware of where our top note is than other people who have sort of more chord shapes. We have like the 1. We have more, but we'll get there. But like, that's the point. So let's do this exercise. This is the first exercise. Again, I hope you've been doing the other ones. The key here is muting, right? We're going to play through the chart, and it's going to be just that simple. Okay. Just do that. Just do that. Play along with the song. Just do that. Now, before I get to adding the minor, I know that's like the thing everybody wants. This is not meant to be a trick to like keep you here. This is just if you want to just see the minor, it starts here. But before we do that, listen real quick. The whole song modulates up a half step. And what that means, I know I haven't really explained even sharps and flats yet. If you go back to our power chords, our chords here, the notes in between D and E is E flat or D sharp. It's either one. It's called an enharmonic equivalent. We're back to theory, which doesn't really matter, but you can see the note D and E. There's a space in between them. That's the half step. D to D sharp or E to E flat. I have written this chart, the second half, in E flat because just music theory wise that makes more sense. You can think of it however you want. But E flat is here, or also just because we're just moving everything up a half step, it's here, which is at the 13th fret, which is not obviously on this chart, but that's okay, 13th fret. Everything is moving up a half step. So my D goes up 1 fret, that's a half step, to E flat, right? My B minor goes up 1/2 step to C minor. You'll notice B to C, there's no sharp or flat in between. C flat is B. B sharp is C. That you can actually use those terms. This is why we don't use D sharp as the key signature. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It doesn't matter. Point is this. B goes up to C, and G goes up to A flat. So I didn't do that here, but basically everything is just moving up 1 fret. That's a half step. And so if you're playing along with the song, when that happens, you can move up. You can either, obviously do 1st fret for the E flat or the 13th fret. I hope that makes sense. But I'm hoping you're playing along with the songs. You're sitting down, you're playing along. Maybe you're starting to hear some of those like... right? Maybe you're starting to hear some of that stuff. And we'll do a lesson on that eventually. But for this, we're just using the chords. So now, minor chords. We've outlined, we've done all this stuff. If I'm just playing, that's the one we've just been talking about. If I add this note, it feels weird, right? Yeah, now everything feels weird. Now it's bad. So our body's already hearing the right note. But let's do this. I'm gonna add them individually. I can outline the chord with my bar. So I'm playing, right? I'm playing that note, and I'm highlighting them up here. We're not using tabs. We're using our ear to identify what's happening, and then, try to follow along, because that's the most important thing to playing in tune, to understanding what's happening, all that stuff. All I'm doing is I'm playing that. Now I'm playing, we can go back to the chord diagram shape. I'm playing the 3rd of the chord, and then the 1 of the chord. Okay? 5 on top. I can do it there. Now, that's it. That's all we're going to do. We're going to add the 3rd at some point. We could add it first. But let's do it the other way first. I'm just adding the 3rd after the root. So I'm going 3rd. See that? No one's going to complain if I do that. We're hearing the chord now. We're hearing the chord. We're already hearing the chord because the other chords are major, right? When I play this, I'm playing a bunch of notes from this chord. When I play this, I'm playing a bunch of notes from this chord. It's all being inferred. We don't have to keep hammering on what the chord is all the time. That's true for guitar. It's true for piano. It's true for the oboe. Whatever you're playing. Oboe only has 1 note, so it's a little bit easier. But okay, now, I want to start highlighting the 3rds for each chord. This is the next exercise where okay, so I'm going 3 on my 1 chord to the root. It's an exercise, right? I mean, realistically, I would again, I want that top note to be moving a little bit more, but check it out. This is the exercise. Okay, now, the camera's overheating. Let me just pause it real quick. Let me hit stop. It's been a little bit. That's okay. Camera's overheating, and I'm just going to talk about a couple more ways to approach this. But this is all we're doing, is just finding different ways to play the chord based on the rhythm of the song. Let's finish with this. So all we're doing is outlining the chords. Now, being aware of our highest note, and this goes back to like, this is why we're starting to get more advanced. We're starting to be more aware. I'm here and I'm playing my bottom 4 strings. As I move down, bottom 5 strings, I could even go I could go all 6 here. And I'm not playing all 6. When I say all 6, I'm not doing that. I don't want to take up that much space. And I think that's the other thing, and this is not a beginner lesson. This is like an everybody lesson, and it's really an intermediate person lesson. So many guys that I'm around they take up way too much space, and it's like, man, like if it's just you, then you can take up more space. But check it out. We're looking at outlining some chords, so we can do it a bunch of different ways. One thing I would like to do is Okay, whatever. I wonder if that's recording or not. We'll see what happens. Okay, the patch bay is already a problem because it can't be directly under the computer. Okay, so anyway, check this out. We're going to now I'm distracted. Okay, so we're back. Whoa. Check this out. We're going to outline some chords, but all right. What I'm doing is this. I'm playing that part of the chord. 1 1 1. The 1 3 1 of that chord. The 1 3 1 of that chord. When I get here, I could go right, but you can see like we start to get those big gaps again. How do I counteract this? Oh, my top note moved up 1 string. Right? I could also do it here. But I don't like that as much. And again, this is going to be experimentation. This is you finding your voice. Hopefully, I'm giving you the tools to play along with songs and find the way you wish to interact with them. But let's do this. The middle 2 strings, 3 and 4, on the 1 chord, on the D chord. Yeah, we haven't gotten to numbers yet. The middle 2 strings on the B minor. Now, 2, 3, 4 on the G chord, and then back to the D chord, where I'm just gonna hit the chord and kind of define it. And I might hit it both ways. We'll see. We'll see what feels right. Check it out. And here's what felt right. Is the first time I went back, I went and I played the top strings. And then the second time, to resolve it, I played, so the first time I played on 3 and 4. The second time I played on 4 and 5. I hope that makes sense. So, essentially, what we're talking about here at this point is outlining the chords. Making sure that we are muting and that we are keeping it as clean as possible, and we're being aware of our highest note. Now, with all of this playing, let me go back to the first one, because the first one still sounds great, right? No one hates that. You can play that all day. But we're starting to add more things. We're starting to add more layers, starting to add more stuff. We haven't gotten to lead stuff yet. If you're looking for lead stuff, I've got a ton. I've got all the materials on Patreon. Please join me there. Please buy guitar, all the stuff. We're doing the stuff. I hope you'll join me. And I hope, most of all, more than anything else, more than learning chords or theory or any of this stuff, I hope you're having fun. That is the most important part. That's why we play along with songs. That's why we do all this stuff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you soon.